This video will teach you how to solve the Rubik's Cube intuitively. And what that means is that you won't learn any memorized algorithms. You won't have a preset solution to every part of the puzzle. Instead, what we'll do is just break the puzzle down into smaller puzzles, and you'll be able to solve them yourself, just using your intuition. And the advantage of that is that you don't have to memorize any sequences of moves or anything like that. And that means that you'll never forget those sequences of moves. So once you learn to solve the cube like this, you'll be able to solve it for the rest of your life. So the first thing that you need to solve a cube is a scrambled cube. So just start moving the sides around and see if you can see how all the different pieces move. Our first little mini puzzle will be to see if you can identify the different types of pieces that make up the cube. When you first start looking at a cube, it looks very confusing. It's all these different colors, all the different stickers, but the stickers don't move individually. You might have the kind of cube where you can kind of pull it apart a little bit and you can see that it's made up of different pieces, and the stickers on those pieces are always going to be together. For example, these three stickers, blue, orange, and yellow, will never be able to be separated. They're part of the same piece. Similarly, this green and yellow piece is one piece. You can't move these stickers apart. You can move it around the cube to different places. You can never separate these two stickers. And that means that you don't have to solve 9 times 6 pieces. You don't have to solve 54 pieces. You only have to solve 20. So by now, maybe you've identified the different types of pieces. There's 3 different types. First, there's centers. These pieces in the middle of the faces. And the interesting thing about centers is that they never move relative to each other. You can move the faces around all you want, but no matter which face turns I do, I can't get this blue piece to move. It'll always be next to this orange piece, next to this white piece. And you'll notice that the different faces are always going to be in the same orientation. So the way that we know if a piece is solved is if its stickers match up with the centers, because the centers are always going to be in the same place. Blue is always going to be opposite of green, red will always be opposite orange, and yellow will always be opposite white. So for our first challenge, first little mini warm-up challenge, you're going to solve one piece. And that piece is an edge piece. So the second type of piece is an edge piece, and that's the type that goes right between 2 centers here. They have 2 stickers on them. You can see this is the orange and white edge piece. 2 stickers. And the third type of piece is a corner piece. Corner pieces are obviously on the corners. They have 3 stickers, and they go between 3 center pieces. This, for example, is the red, green, and yellow corner. So let's solve a edge piece. Now, the first thing I want you to do is look at the orientation of the cube, and we're going to keep it in the same orientation while we're solving this piece. One thing that can get confusing with the cube when you're just starting out is you look all around and the pieces are moving and you just get lost. But if you just keep the center pieces in the same orientation, then you can really always find your way back and get your bearings. So The orientation that I like to use is blue on top and red on front, but we're going to flip that over to begin with and use green on top and orange in the front. And we're going to solve this orange and white edge. It goes right here between this orange and white center, right there in front of you on the left-hand side. And the way we solve an edge is we put it between the two centers that match up. So if we see this orange and white edge, it'll be in a different spot on your cube because you'll have a different scramble. The way you do that is you match up one sticker. And then you turn the matched up face, in this case the orange face, and you match up the other sticker. And now that piece is solved, and it doesn't have to move for the whole rest of the time we're solving the puzzle. So that's a little warm-up puzzle. And as I'm telling you the next steps of how to solve the cube, please pause the video and see if you can do the next step before I tell you my solution or show you how I solve it on my cube. So now, after we've solved that first piece, we're going to get into the real meat and potatoes of solving the cube, which is making a corner edge pair. So remember, besides the centers, which never move, there are two kinds of pieces we need to solve: the edges and the corners. Edges that have 2 stickers and the corners that have 3 stickers. So the first pair we're going to make is we're going to pair the green and white edge with the green, white, and orange corner. So you can see the green, white, and orange corner is here in my scramble. Find yours, maybe just move it to the top of the cube so you can figure out where it is. And don't move this orange and white piece out while you're doing that. So don't make any of these kinds of moves, because that'll mess up this piece you've already solved. So I'm just going to find the green and white edge. Look around the cube and find it. Let's see, where's green and white? Oh, it's right here. It's already matched up with the green face. Now if it were down here or something, you can match it up just like that. Now it could be that it's next to the green face, but it's backwards, with the white sticker next to green and the green sticker on the side. And to fix that, you just have to flip it around by moving it out, moving it back in a different way. And these are the little kinds of mini puzzles that you solve along the way. So once you get that edge oriented and matched up with the green center, then find the green, white, and orange corner and match it up with the green center like that. And now we need to match this edge up with the corner, and it goes right here, because you can see the green and white stickers on the edge would match the green and white stickers on this corner. Now, problem is we can move these around like this, put this in the right place, put this in the right place, but they have to match up. So what we do is we move the corner out of the way, we move it down to a different face. Then we move the top around so that the edge is where it needs to go, and when we move the corner back, they'll be paired up. Now if you can make a corner edge pair like this, that's the main thing you're going to be doing when you're solving the cube and you're well on your way to a solution. Now we can rotate that around so it matches up with the edge that we already put in. We have this nice little square here. And we're going to expand that to a cubic block by adding this green and orange edge here. So first we have to find the green and orange edge. Where is it? Let's see. Oh, here it is. It's all the way down the back like that. And remember, try to keep the cube in the same orientation. Don't move it around in your hands like this, because you'll get lost. So just keep your thumb and your finger on the orange center and the red center here while you look around, because then you can always put it back. You'll always know where your solved pieces are. So when we find this green and orange edge, let's move it back to the top. And we're going to do the same thing that we did to match up this pair. And remove the corner over. Now we don't want to break up our work that we did here just yet. So let's move this corner over to the right side, move it down, move the edge around, and then pair it back up. And you can slot it in here, and you have this nice block already built. Now we're going to change our orientation and flip the cube like this. So we have red on top, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to make another square here. So we need the white red edge and the green red edge. I see white and red is here. I'll just do this more quickly because you already know the basic idea. And remember, don't do any of these moves on the left-hand side of the cube or the bottom like this, because you're going to be breaking up the work that you already did to make this block. So keep your hand there so that you don't accidentally break that up. Now we need to find the corner that goes with this, and oh, it's right here. It's matched up already, but it's oriented in the wrong way. The white and red stickers need to go next to this white and red edge. So we have to take it away, take it out here, and then you have to orient it so the red stickers are on the top. And we're going to do just the same thing we did last time. Move the corner down, put the edge in a place where it's going to match up. Now we have this matched up, and we just need to match up the red and green. Oh, and the red and green on my cube was right here. And say you had it somewhere else, like here, or if it was backwards with the red sticker on the wrong side, you can just move it out and then move it back in like that. And then we're going to do the same thing we've been doing all along. Move the corner and the edge pair here down. Then move the edge that we want to pair up next to it. And then we can move that back here. And now we have a nice big chunk. And we're going to do another rotation. Put blue on top. So now we've come a long way solving the cube. And if you notice, we have these pieces here solved in a big block in the back. Put your hand there so you don't break up that block. And we can move the top and the right-hand side of the cube all day. We can move it as much as we want, and it'll never break up that stuff we've already solved. So our goal now is to try to solve another block here without breaking up this block. But if you move this around, you might notice something curious. If you take this red and blue edge, for example, or the, let's say the green and yellow edge, in order to solve this block here, the yellow face, yellow orange, and yellow green edges, we need to make the yellow sticker match up with the yellow center. But no matter how much you move these two faces, the top face and the right face, you can't manage to do that. It's always going to be misoriented. So we need to break our work that we've already done just for one move in order to fix these edges. And in this step, we're going to fix all the edges so they're all going to be oriented correctly next to the side where they go. And all of the remaining unsolved edges have either a yellow sticker or a blue sticker on them. And we want to pick out any edges on the blue face that have a yellow sticker matching up with the blue center, or a blue sticker not matching up with the blue center, because those are bad edges that are misoriented. And you can see we have 2 here. So the way we can solve these, remember, you can't solve them by doing just top moves and right moves. We have to move it down like that. That's going to break our block that we made here temporarily, but we're just going to do one more move and then put it back. So you need to put 2 bad edges here in the top like this. And this yellow green edge is bad because the yellow sticker is lining up with the blue edge, the blue center, when it should be lining up with the yellow center. And this blue-red edge is bad because the blue sticker is lining up with the red center, and it should be lining up with the blue center if it's on the blue face. So we're going to move that down here. And doing this move will fix the orientation of this edge. And we're going to replace it with another bad edge and then move that up there. And now you can see that the blue and red edge and the yellow and green edge are both correct. Now, what other bad edges do we have? Well, if we look here on the yellow face, we have a blue sticker next to the yellow center, which means that's a bad edge, and a yellow sticker on the side not connected to the yellow center, so that's a bad edge too. So let's put these in the same spot here. So we're going to put this bad edge here in the front, and this bad edge here in the top as well, but on the side. And we're going to do that same little flip where we flip this down. You see, that now corrected the orientation. It's matching with the yellow side. Replace it with another bad edge and flip it up. And now this is good. It's connecting with the blue side. So now all of our edges should be blue. Should be good. Let's see if they are. Yeah, see, now our edges are all oriented correctly. And now it should be pretty easy to solve this orange, green, and yellow block here. So let's see if we can do it. And this solution is going to be different for you, but it's going to be the same thing we've been doing all along. You can move the orientation here if you want to do it on the top of the cube, like we were doing before. I'm just going to do it on the side to show you that you can do these things in different orientation if you want. So I'm going to match this corner up with the orange and yellow edge like this. And now I have a problem if I want to match it up with the green and yellow edge that's not in the top face. So I can't have them connected but misoriented. So I'm just going to move this pair over here to the back, or the bottom, I guess. Move this green and yellow edge up to connect to the yellow face. And then I'm going to move the pair over here where I can move it out of the way. Move the green and yellow edge back in, pair them up, and put it in like that. And now we have a lot of the cube solved. See, we have almost these full 2 layers on the bottom of the cube, except for this one slot. And now we have even fewer moves that we can do without messing up what we did. If we want to make sure that our blue edges stay oriented, the only moves we can do are top moves, of course. The whole top move is unsolved. The whole top face is unsolved, so we can move the top face as much as we want, any direction. The only other move we can do is moving this pair up and then moving it back by quarter turn. can do that as much as you want, and the orientation of the edges will be the same. Our goal here in the next step is to solve all 4 of these, or all 5 of the remaining edge pieces. The 4 blue edges on top, and this 1 red and yellow edge here. We're going to do that a little differently than what we've been doing so far. So, see if you can do it yourself before I give you my little tricks on how I like to do it. So the way I like to do it is you first have to get 2 edges solved. Any way you want, exactly 2, no more, no less. So here we have the blue-red and the blue-orange edges are solved. This is unsolved, and this is unsolved, and this is unsolved. I call this the keyhole edge. This is the keyhole slot because you can move it in and out, and you put the top pieces in there when you're solving these last pieces, these last edges. So the way you complete the solve is you move the unsolved top layer edge. That's the unsolved edge that has a blue sticker on it. You can move that over here so you can replace it with the edge that's in the keyhole spot. And then you're going to move the yellow and red edge back into the keyhole spot where it belongs. And if you look, all of the edges are solved. Now that'll look pretty easy, but you could have other cases that aren't quite so easy. Or say you only have 1 top layer edge solved. So now you have 4 unsolved edges. So how do you get to the state where you have 2 unsolved edges? Or you could have, let's say, you could have 3 solved edges and 2 unsolved edges, and this is actually further away from being solved than the state we want it to be in, which is only 2 solved edges and 3 unsolved edges. So you need to get to exactly 2 unsolved edges. And how do you do that? Well, here's a simple little heuristic you can use. So remember in the beginning, I said that there are opposite colors on the cube. Yellow and white are opposite, red and orange are opposite, and blue and green are opposite. Well, you want to look for the side sticker of the edge and the keyhole edge. Now make sure that one of the top edges is in the keyhole spot. You don't want to have the cube look like that, where the keyhole, the red and yellow edges in the keyhole spot, and everything on top, all the edges on top are blue. You want instead to make sure you have one of the blue edges in the keyhole spot, and you look at the sticker on the side sticker, the sticker that's not blue, and then you find its opposite color. The opposite color is white. Now you move this keyhole edge next to the white sticker edge, and then you replace it with the white sticker edge. And now 2 of your edges will be solved, and you'll have 1 unsolved, and then you can solve all the edges in 3 moves by just replacing the unsolved edge with the edge in the keyhole, and then placing the yellow and red edge back in there. And I have also managed to solve 2 corners by accident. This might have happened to you, might not have. You will probably have 5 corners unsolved. So I'm just going to change up the cube to show 5 unsolved corners here, which is how it probably looks to you. And now we have a big problem because we can't move anything without messing up what we've done already, right? If we move any face of the cube, it's going to mess up solved pieces because all these edges are solved. We can't move the top without messing them up. We can't move the right side without messing them up. So how are we going to solve all of these corners if we can't do any moves without messing things up? well, this is where things get really cool and I think really fun. This is the part of the solve that I enjoy the most. We're going to solve it using a concept that's really extraordinarily simple. It's so simple that we don't even think about it. And it's the idea that any moves that you do to the cube, if you do them in reverse, you get back to the same place that you were before. All right. So if you do this move and then you undo it in reverse, you get back to the same place. That's true however many moves you do. If you do these two moves and then you do them in reverse, you're back to where you were. So, for example, if I do this, I could do 100 moves and then do 100 moves in reverse, I'd be back to where I was. So let's say we want to move this corner to here. Now, I could do that by just moving this corner, the place I want to move it down here, moving it over and then moving it back up. Of course, that scrambles up the bottom of the cube, so we got to put that back right away so that we don't mess up what we did already. But you know, at least we moved this corner over here, right? That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to move that corner from here to here. Wouldn't it be great if we could move it there and then undo what we just did and have this still be there? Well, there is a way to do that. So the first thing you have to do is the moves I just did. Now you can't move it up here like that. That also moves this to here. Right, you can just do it like that. But we want to do it in a way that doesn't disturb anything else on the top face. And the only way to do that is we move the top face corner, the place where we want to move this, we move it down on the bottom. And then we do our solving move here on the bottom face. So that when we move it back up, the top face is still intact. See, if we moved it like this, the top face would be all messed up. This green edge would be on the bottom. So instead, we're gonna move this corner down, replace it with this, and move it back. And now, instead of just undoing it like this, we do one move in between, which is we move a different corner from the top face there. And now, when we move everything back, we've moved these corners around. So see if you can do that. Try doing that a bunch of times, seeing if you can move the corners around without messing up any of the other parts of the cube. And you can do it different ways. Like, for example, you could move this corner down here and then move it back up like that. There are a bunch of different ways you can do. You can find your own things that you like very, very much. And so do that for a while. Get comfortable with moving the corners around. And after you get comfortable, we're going to work on actually solving the corners by using this. These types of moves, by the way, are called commutators. And there's going to be some links in the description to other resources about how to use commutators. For now, we're going to solve one piece at a time using commutators. So the first thing you want to do is find a corner piece that's oriented correctly with the blue sticker on top. You might not have any. If you don't, see if you can just mess around and move the pieces around a little bit until you get one. But I have one right here. So this is the yellow and orange and blue piece. And if we look around, if we use our edges and our centers as guideposts, we can see that orange and yellow are here. So this corner is going to go here in this spot. So we're going to move this down here and replace it with this corner. And then we're going to make sure that when we do our top move to put another corner in that place, we put the spot where that other corner was supposed to go. So then when we move it back, it's solved. Now we've solved this piece. And we can do that for all the corners. So here's another one. Blue, red, and white. And it's supposed to go here between the white and the red edge stickers. So we're just going to move it out of the top layer temporarily. And then replace this top layer position with the place where that sticker should go. And then we undo our move. And then it's solved. And now we just have 3 corners left. Now, you can actually solve all 3 of these corners at once with a commutator. Don't worry about that right now. You can just solve 1 corner at a time. So you might not have any oriented corners. And if you don't, let me just see if I can set up to a case like that. What do you do if you don't have any oriented corners? Now, it looks like we can't solve anything now with our techniques that we've been using, right? But we can, because we can do a little setup move. So this corner here doesn't have blue on it. It has a blue sticker, but it's not on top, right? So we're just going to move it like this so the blue sticker is on top. And after we do our commutator, we can just move it back. It'll be solved. Trust me. Watch. So it's the red and yellow and blue corner. So it goes between the red and yellow edges. And we can do the same thing we did before, just move it out of the top. Move the top so that the place it's supposed to go is right here where it was. And then when we move it back, it'll be solved. And then we undo our setup move. We just have 2 corners left. And if you notice, these corners are in the right spot, but they're twisted. And this is a situation that you'll get into very often if you solve 1 corner at a time with commutators. It's actually impossible to have only 1 corner twisted. There are only so many positions that you can get with legal moves on the cube. One of the interesting things about the Rubik's Cube, if you have 1 corner twisted, you always have to have at least 1 other corner twisted. So you'll probably end up with 2 corners twisted here at the end of the puzzle. And you can solve this with a commutator as well. Now here we need both pieces to be in the same layer. So we're just going to move this one up so it's in the same layer as this. And I'll let you figure out how to solve this twist. It's going to be exactly the same principle that we used to solve the other corners, except you're just going to take this corner out, twist it using moves that don't affect the top face, replace it with the other corner, do the twisting moves in reverse, and put it back. I find this to actually be easier than commutators that move 3 pieces around, because you only have to deal with these 2 pieces. So I'll show you the way that I like to do it. And if you want to figure it out for yourself, just stop the video now, or you can just use my solution, or if you just Google Rubik's Cube corner twist algorithm, It'll give you a lot of, or corner twist commutator. It'll give you a lot of different solutions, but here's how I like to do it. Now remember, we're going to have both of these pieces in the same layer. We're going to take this down, twist it, and then put it back. Now we replace it with the other unsolved piece. We're going to do all our moves in reverse. Now you're going to have a solved cube. Pretty cool, huh? So let's say you had two different corners twisted. I'll give you a little easier case so maybe you can see more easily how the twist happens. So this is two other corners twisted here, and we're just gonna take this corner down and twist it, move it out of the way, and put it back. Now we have to do the opposite with the other corner. Move it over here, and then do a little twist, bring it back up, and now it's solved. And remember, the principle that we're using is you twist the corner here on the bottom, and then put it back, and then do a reverse of all the moves you did with a different corner on the top face. Now you can also do this with the twists on the bottom. If you think that's easier, you can hold the twisted corners on the bottom and do the twist on the top of the cube. So, for example, if we bring this corner up here, we can see that we need to get the blue sticker to be here instead of here. So how are we going to get it there? Well, I move it to the back and then move it here. Now the blue sticker is in the front where we want it, but now we have to insert it back here. So we just move this to the side and then put it back in. Now the top of the cube is completely scrambled, but that's okay because we're just going to move the other corner in, reverse all the moves that we did. Remember, we moved it to the side last, so now we're going to move it to the side first. And then we're going to do the little twist that we did, move it back. Now we have a solved cube. So this is a beginner version of a cube solving method called the Heise method, H-E-I-S-E. If you Google that, you can find a really cool website where Ryan Heise has explained all the various steps and much more efficient ways of doing them than I showed here. But if you just want to be able to solve a cube, you can do it like this, solve any scramble with just the techniques I've shown in this video, and you can learn as much or as little else as you want, and now you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube without memorizing any algorithms, without memorizing anything that you're going to be able to forget, and you're going to be able to solve a cube for the rest of your life. So have fun.